Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar co-hosted by the New York Oracle User Group and Oracle partner Viscosity North America. My name is Monica Lee and I'm the Marketing Director for Viscosity. We are a full Oracle stack consulting firm with core expertise in Oracle database, including RAC, Apex, zero downtime migrations, performance tuning, and high availability. We also have decades of experience with infrastructure, including engineered systems. During today's presentation, please feel free to submit questions to our presenter in the questions and chat prompt seen in the lower right-hand side of your GoToWebinar panel. We'll get to them in the last 15 minutes, so just go ahead and submit them as you think of them, and we'll get to them at the end. Representing NYOUG today is Coleman Leviter. He will introduce you to NYOUG and then to today's speaker. All yours, Coleman.
Thank you, Monica, and welcome everybody to today's webinar. We have an ongoing webinar with New York Oracle Users Group and Viscosity going out through February, and it'll probably be a few more months after that. And let me go into New York Oracle Users Group. We've established in 1984 for the exchange of ideas and assistance and support among users of the Oracle software products. Connect with us on Twitter, Meetup, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course our website, nyoug.org, where you'll have a list of all the upcoming webinars that we have. And also outreach to the members in the Oracle User Group community through Oracle. And I want to thank Viscosity North America for co-hosting these series of webinars with us. And let me just introduce you to Ravi Kumar. He's an Oracle Certified Master, an Oracle ACE Director, co-author of 3 books, MAA Certified Expert with 22 years of multinational leadership experience in the United States of America. Also Seychelles and India in banking, financial services, and insurance verticals, and played various roles like Vice President, Oracle Engineered Systems Architect, Senior Database Architect, Production DBA, and Enterprise Architect. So again, I want to thank Ravi for presenting today and thank Monica for co-hosting with Viscosity North America. Thank you again.
So, good morning and good evening. So, able to see my screen?
Yes, looks good.
Yep. Thank you, Coleman. Thank you, New York Oracle User Group, and thank you, Viscosity North America for this opportunity. So, about me, I'm Ravi Kumar, Oracle Certified Master and Oracle ACE Director, and co-authored 3 Oracle books. One is Oracle Database Upgrade and Migration Methods, and Oracle High Availability, Disaster Recovery and Cloud Services, and third one, Oracle Golden Gate with Microservices. And also I co-authored 100+ OTN articles in English, Portuguese, and Spanish, and twice a speaker at Oracle Open World and Independent Oracle User Group. And I'm currently holding silver badge in Oracle community. And Oracle ACE program, currently 500+ technical experts helping peers globally. There are 3 levels, Oracle ACE Director, Oracle ACE, and Oracle ACE Associate. So you can nominate yourself or someone, people can nominate you based on your work in Oracle community. So today I am going to share with use case Oracle Golden Gate, high available off box and hub configurations. And agenda, first we will see Oracle Golden Gate architecture and what are the cloud multi-cloud capabilities of Golden Gate, and what are the improvements from the Oracle Golden Gate, and followed by hub architecture. In the hub architecture, how ACFS architecture will help you, and using XAG bundled agents, and we can see what are the certification matrices, certification requires for this entire hub architecture setup. And we know the Golden Gate started maybe 2 decades back, and every year Golden Gate they are coming with latest features, and it is supporting a data replication between heterogeneous and homogeneous environments. So coming to multi-cloud capabilities, in left-hand side, you have cloud like Amazon, Azure, Oracle Cloud, and right-hand side, you have some of the RDBMS and Oracle Autonomous Database. So Golden Gate can transfer the data between a cloud to right hand side, the multiple choices for you. And we know the Golden Gate is a complete platform, whether it is relational or non-relational or any apps. The destination can be your DBMS or cloud or big data or NoSQL, and they are started supporting streams with Kafka and ETL related and ML related capabilities also. So you can use the replication of real-time data between relational versus non-relational to DBMS, cloud, and big data. And you can see the continuous improvements of Golden Gate from 12.2, 12.3, and 18.1 and 19.1. They started supporting 9-digit trial file from 12.2, and from 12.3 they introduced a microservices architecture with the sharding support, and 18.1 they started supporting ADW, autonomous data warehouse, and autonomous transaction processing, and from 19.1 they included more security and manageability for microservices, and performance and scalability improvements for 19.1 Golden Gate. And we know the Golden Gate provides low impact capture. So, and it will supports multiple heterogeneous platforms, because Oracle Golden Gate moves only committed transactions, the two from redo logs. So Oracle Golden Gate will maintain commit sequence number to identify a transaction from Oracle database side equal to system change number. And using Golden Gate, when you are using Golden Gate, we can complete data you can recover using the trial files. And we know the topologies. You can use Golden Gate for unidirectional or bidirectional or peer-to-peer load balancing multi-master, and you can broadcast to complete a data distribution to multiple environments, and even you can integrate or consolidate to one source database, and you can use cascading marts also to reduce the load from the source database. And this is a for your understanding before going to hub architecture. This is a plain Golden Gate replication between the source and target, how the Golden Gate will move the transactions from source to target. So it will write, it will take on LGWR, will move the transactions to online redo logs, and your extract will read the redo logs and it will move to your trail files. And data pump, it will read the trail files using your network. It will send it to remote trail files. And there is a optional process. You cannot see this process in the behind scenes. There is a collector process. And replicate, it will take or it will read from the remote trail file. It will update to the target database. So the whole the transactions moving between source and target, you will have the processes called extract, replicate, and there will be a process called manager. So before going to hub architecture, I will talk about current use case for one of the customer. So we have a primary database. Because of mission critical database, we are not able to install any configuration files, any software stacks in the primary database. So we have a remote standby database. The transactions are moving from primary to remote standby using Active Data Guard. So we have configured Oracle Golden Gate on the remote standby database. So from remote standby database, we have configured extract. It will extract the transactions to the local trail file. The pump will read the trail file. It will move it into remote trail file. Replicate will read the trail file. It will move to JSON and it will go to the destination. In this environment, we have the source database is Oracle and destination is big data. So finally, we are moving the destination Amazon S3. So here they have two things we have to consider here. When we are reading the transactions from standby database, we are using classic extract. People might have think, why don't we use integrated extract? The reason behind, we cannot configure integrated extract on the standby database. So we have the only option, classic extract. The two using the parameter called tran log options mine from ActiveDG. So when you're reading the transactions from the Active Data Guard standby database, we cannot configure integrated extract. So we have only choice classic extract. So that too, it will supports from 12.1 to 10 or later versions using the parameter called tran log options mine from ActiveDG. So these two MOS doc ID, you can refer why we cannot configure integrated extract for ActiveDG environment and how the classic extract supports for Active Data Guard environment. You can refer these two MOS doc ID. And here, this is one environment. Like that, the customer is having 90 plus databases. So in 90 plus databases, we have configured Oracle Golden Gate software on the remote standby, and we have to monitor all the 90 plus remote standby databases. We have to monitor Oracle Golden Gate, as well as we have to monitor active standby database, whether it is receiving the transactions properly or not. Then only my Oracle Golden Gate will transform the files between remote standby to destination Oracle Big Data. So to eliminate 90 plus Oracle Golden Gate software installations and to eliminate Oracle Classic Extract, because in integrated extract you have lot of data types support, and Oracle is strongly asking us to go for integrated extract for many reasons. So in this case, we are bringing hub architecture for basically two reasons: to eliminate Oracle Golden Gate software in 90 plus servers, because day-to-day maintenance wise and the patching wise Golden Gate, we have to keep track of 90 plus, and we are not able to use integrated extract. So here you can see Oracle Golden Gate local configuration versus hub configuration. Basically, local means we will be installing Oracle Golden Gate software on the database server, and there will be a Golden Gate processes will be up and running in your Oracle database server, and we have to monitor all those processes. Coming to hub configuration, you will have a dedicated server. In that, you will be installing Oracle Golden Gate. You will be configuring Oracle Golden Gate processes like manager, extract, replicate, pump, whatever you need, you will be installing and configuring in Oracle Golden Gate Hub. If you see the differences, in local configuration, we have to install Golden Gate software on the database servers, but in Hub, we will be installing, instead of 90 plus servers, we will be installing only on the Hub. And we have to use libraries from RDBMS, but in Hub configuration, we may require Oracle client software for required libraries. And of course, in local, your Golden Gate processes runs on the database servers. All those Golden Gate processes will run on Hub only. Of course, when you are using integrated extract, there will be a process you need log miner in the database. And database, apart from the database, Oracle Golden Gate processes also will use your CPU memory. So there will be a consumption on the database server. But when you offload all your Oracle Golden Gate software installation processes to the hub, all the consumption, your CPU, memory, everything will be on the hub. And as I told you, we are using the Golden Gate installation and processes on the remote standby. We have to monitor Golden Gate processes also, your manager, extract, replicate, pump, in the all 90 plus servers, because we have used local configuration. But in hub configuration, we no need to monitor database servers related to Golden Gate, because your Oracle Golden Gate software, your configurations, your processes called manager, extract, replicate, pump process, everything will be there on the hub only. So instead of maintaining 90 plus local configuration files, you have to maintain and monitor at the hub side only. So the hub, you will be installing all the Oracle Golden Gate software configuration in one place. And Oracle is having two binary software files. One is for included with microservices, and another one is except microservices. You can see the file size also. When it includes microservices, it will be 736 M. If it is not, it will be 530 M. So you can use for hub without microservices, with microservices, based on your environment. And the only, I cannot say disadvantage, the only thing, we require one additional server for Oracle Golden Gate hub with sufficient CPU, IO, network bandwidth, because we are completely offloading Oracle Golden Gate processes, software binaries, everything will be on hub. So we are not going to maintain any Golden Gate related information at the database server level. So everything will be on the hub side. So for hub architecture, Oracle recommends, these are the basic parameters. If it is integrated extract, you need stream spool size. Even if it is integrated replicate, you need stream spool size. And both, we know, both source and target database, there is a parameter called enable Golden Gate replication equal to true. That parameter should be true at source as well as target. And if you use latest Oracle Golden Gate 19C software binaries, you will get the support for cross-endian remote capture also. So the connectivity between the source and target databases, when you are using Oracle Golden Gate hub, we are just using a TNS names. That's it. So we will be connecting from hub to source using TNS names, and we will be connecting from hub to target side using TNS names only. So Oracle software binaries for Golden Gate right now for Oracle 19.1.004, for big data in our case 19.1.005. So here, this is what we are going to, right now we are doing POC. This will be the final architecture when we are implementing hub architecture. So here we are using maximum availability architecture using Oracle ACFS. So I have two data centers, data center 1 and data center 2. On left hand side, I have primary database, and using integrated extract in primary hub, we are moving to the target primary database. So from primary hub, if something goes wrong for a primary hub, we don't have high availability. So using ACFS replication, the trial files we are moving to standby Oracle Golden Gate Hub. So this moving the complete volumes inside the directories or trial files, whatever you have, will be doing through ACFS replication. We will see how to configure ACFS replication also. So here you can use with hub architecture, either you can use DBFS file system or Oracle ACFS file system. But when you compare DBFS versus ACFS file system, ACFS file system so matured from 12.2 to 19C. So when something goes wrong for primary database at data center 1, your observer will make standby database in data center 2 as a primary database. So then your primary GG hub will take the transactions from data center 2, that standby database turned into a primary database. From there, transactions will flow to the data center 1 primary database. You can see the complete article posted in the following blog. So when something goes wrong for your primary database at the data center 1 at the target site, because of observer in data center 2, standby database will be the primary database site. So your primary hub will be in the data center 1, your primary database source data center 2, your primary database target, it will be in the data center 2, but your primary hub will be there in the data center 1. If for some reason your primary Golden Gate hub is not available, then your standby hub Oracle Golden Gate will be the primary hub, because although we are moving all the trail files using ACFS replication from primary hub to standby hub, you won't lose anything the transactions wise. So finally, your data center 2, when data center 1 is not available, source primary database, source side, target database side, replicate side, your primary hub, your entire complete stack is not available, still you have the primary hub in data center 2 will be up and running. So in this architecture, how to configure, how to make the role transitions using DataGuard, using Oracle Golden Gate, complete steps you can refer this Metalink support with doc ID. Here we were discussed about primary hub and standby hub, and we were thinking, instead of keeping single server for primary hub, single server for standby hub, we were thinking to make high availability, means we are adding cluster nodes to primary hub and we are converting single server to cluster nodes at standby hub also. So in my primary hub, I will have 2 node rack, and in my standby hub, I have 2 node rack. So between these two, we have configured ACFS replication using secure shell, SSH. So starting with 12.2, Oracle using ACFS snapshot replication and the new method they introduced, how to transmit the data using SSH protocol. So from 12.2, this method, if you want to use ACFS replication, Oracle will using SSH protocol between ACFS in primary and secondary ACFS. So we need for either primary hub or standby hub, we need the software stack. One is, operating system, and when you want ACFS, we need ASM. So you need Oracle Clusterware. So the first primary component, operating system, on top of that Oracle Clusterware, and we need Oracle Golden Gate software. So these are the softwares we require in primary hub and standby hub. So before going to this environment, please make sure always the certification matrices. So in our case, I will show you where we stuck this complete environment. So Oracle Clusterware 19c supports Oracle Linux 7.x and 8.x. So Oracle Clusterware 19 will support both Linux 7 and Linux 8. Then you can check always certifications tab in Oracle Metalink support, and you can check using certifications through MOS whether Oracle Golden Gate supports that operating system. So if you see, although Oracle Clusterware supports Linux 7 and 8, but Oracle Golden Gate 19c supports 7 and 6 only. Means Oracle Golden Gate 19c yet to support or yet to certify Linux 8. So if you see now, the Oracle Clusterware supports 7, Oracle Golden Gate 19c 19.1004 supports 7. So I made my mind to use the Linux 7 operating system only. Although Oracle Clusterware supports Linux 8, but Oracle Golden Gate 19c yet to certify on Linux 8. And even if it is not certification tab, there is one more way to check how Oracle Golden Gate 19c or 18c supports what is the OS version and what is the database version it supports. You can see through in this URL. There in third tab, I'm showing system requirements and supported platforms for Oracle. There will be one Excel sheet. So that Excel sheet will give you the complete picture of Oracle Golden Gate release and what are the OS it will support, what are the database versions it will support. Everything you can see from that Excel sheet. So you have two choices, either from certifications tab or you can check with Excel sheet using the following URL. Even we are using the destination. It is not source Oracle, destination Oracle. We are using source is Oracle and destination is Oracle Golden Gate for big data. So for this also there is a separate certification matrix. So before implementing any environment, first you have to look certifications for each and every software stack. And Oracle Golden Gate for Oracle, it will support classic extract, integrated extract, integrated replicate, parallel replicate. So everything it will support. For Oracle Golden Gate for big data, only two will support. One is classic replicate or coordinated replicate. So in Oracle Golden Gate for big data, integrated replicate yet to certify or yet to support. So you will be having only two choices when your source or destination, if it is Oracle Golden Gate for big data, means we can use only either classic replicate or coordinated replicate. It won't support integrated replicate. And so we for making Oracle Golden Gate Hub, we have checked Oracle Clusterware certification matrix. We checked Oracle Golden Gate certification tab, and we checked Oracle Golden Gate for big data certification tab. We need ACFS also, because using ACFS, we are replicating the trial files, your volumes from primary hub to standby hub. So for that, you need ACFS and volume managers. So if you see in this certification matrix, for Oracle 19C, ACFS and AFD will support up to Linux 7 only. Means Linux 8 yet to certify for Oracle 19C with respect to ACFS and AFD. So always check ACFS support on OS platforms using the certification matrix in Metalink. This is the document ID. So we know ACFS will be on top of ASM. First, we have to create ASM disk group. On top of ASM, we will be creating the volumes. We will be configuring drivers. We will be configuring ACFS. And after creating the volume, we will be make the file system. And using ACFS util or SRV CTL, we will be mounting the file system. So we know ACFS is integrated tightly with the ASM, ADVM, and Clusterware. And like Oracle Golden Gate, even ACFS started supporting continuous snapshot replication. And from ACFS 12C R1, even you can store Oracle database files. Before 12C R1, you cannot store Oracle database files in ACFS volumes. Now you can store. And from 19C, as a non-root user, either Grid or Oracle, you can execute all ACFS util related commands. And Oracle ACFS, not only Linux, it will support Red Hat, Novell, Solaris, and IBM AIX operating systems. And one more component we need in primary hub, when your primary hub is cluster nodes. Means if you have 2-node rack, when something goes wrong for your node 1, the golden gate processes how to relocate or how to move from node 1 to node 2. So here the XAG will support that relocate and transform all the processes from node 1 to node 2. So this XAG is a bundled agents. It will allow you to register a golden gate instance with cluster ready services to provide high availability. So there is a command line utility. There is a command line command called agctl. You can register, you can stop and start, complete Oracle Oracle Golden Gate related components. So basically the XAG previously it will be included in clusterware software, nothing but your grid infrastructure, and you can download separately. So yesterday when I was checking to download XAG, previously Oracle is giving separate download, but nowadays it is not available. So the latest XAG is 10.2. that patch, that using that patch number you can download from Metalink. So outside Metalink XAG, you can check whether it is available or not. If not, you can go to Metalink. The latest is 10.2. You can download XAG. So if you have primary hub 2-node rack, or it can be a 3-node rack, or it can be a 4-node rack, when you install XAG, you have to say how many nodes the participating in the cluster, so that when you execute XAG setup.sh, when you pass on the directory, it should be, the directory should be outside of your cluster home directory. For example, you are using U01 app XAG for XAG home. You have to pass all nodes. So if you have in the cluster 3-node rack or 4-node rack, you want to implement XAG for all the nodes, pass the parameter called all nodes. It automatically installs in the directory for all the cluster nodes. And this bundled agents XAG not only provides HA for Golden Gate, you can use this XAG components for high availability for the following applications. You can use for Apache Tomcat, Web Server, eBusiness Suite, JD Edwards, even MySQL Server, PeopleSoft related applications, Cbill, and of course for WebLogic. So XAG can provide high availability for all the following software stacks. So if you see in right hand side, after setting up XAG using agctl, we will be allocating one VIP, because when something goes wrong for node 1, all the processes has to move from node 1 to node 2. So your VIP will move from node 1 to node 2 using XAG components, or you can use agctl. So using agctl, I will configure the XAG for high availability, passing GG home, what is the instance, what is the VIP, what are the file system has to move from when you are something goes wrong, your node 1 to node 2, how to access all the files from the node 2, you can use agctl add command. And when you want to check the status, there are a couple of commands: agctl status golden gate, agctl start, stop, relocate. When you want to relocate all the golden gate related process from node 1 to node 2, you can use agctl relocate -- node, pass the node name. And so we were thinking Oracle 19c GI, Oracle Golden Gate 19.1004, we thought Linux 8. After going through all the certification matrix for software stacks like Oracle Clusterware, Oracle Golden Gate, Oracle ACFS, Oracle Golden Gate for big data, Linux 8 is supporting only for some of the components. For components like ACFS, ADVM, Linux 8 yet to certify, and Oracle Golden Gate for big data yet to certify on Linux 8. So we were thinking to use Linux 8 because Linux 7, Linux 7. So Linux 7 is certified for Oracle Clusterware 19c, Oracle Golden Gate certified on Linux 7, your ACFS ADVM volumes certified on Linux 7, and of course Oracle Golden Gate for big data also supports Linux 7. So before going to implementation, we can test like whether your ASM filter driver based on your kernel, based on your Oracle Linux operating system, whether it will support or not. You can check with the following commands like afd_state, ACFS driver state, whether it is installed, whether it is loaded, what is the version. So finally we are going to use 19c GI 19.9 with Oracle Linux 7.8, kernel 4.1.2, complete certified on for all the stacks. Then when we were checking with Oracle support, they were mentioned in one of the document, while installing grid infrastructure, when you update the latest patch 19.9, then it will support Linux 8 operating system with ACFS and ADVM. So if you see in left hand side, while installing grid setup.sh, we applied the latest October RU patch that includes 19.9. So the grid is 19.3, and when you apply the RU latest October 19.9, your grid home will be 19.9. So while installation itself, we applied the RU patch. Still, if you check AFD driver state using the options called installed, loaded, version, it is not supported. And Oracle was mentioned in that Metalink document. Your kernel should be 5.4.17. No, it is not yet to, no, it is not certified. So with this combination, kernel 5.4.17, Oracle Linux 8.2 with the grid infrastructure 19.9, it is not supporting. But in this document, if you see, maybe on top of 19.3, when you installed 19.9, it may supports, but in our case, when we tested, it is not supporting. We have raised Oracle SR also. We are waiting for Oracle response. And we have primary hub and we have standby hub. For example, primary hub 2-node rack, standby hub 2-node rack. In standby hub, you cannot mount the ACFS file system on both the nodes. When you try to initialize, you can see the first command. It will give you the message called standby replication file system is mounted on more than one cluster node. So if your secondary hub or standby hub, if it is cluster nodes, for example 2-node rack, I can mount the ACFS file system for ACFS replication between primary to secondary on standby or on secondary. I can mount on only one node, either node 1 or node 2 on the secondary or standby hub. So using stop file system, so all these commands we have to execute as a root user. When you execute as an Oracle user, it will give you permissions error. So I will stop the file system on the secondary hub on node 2. Then when you check the SRVCTL status file system, it will show you it will be up and running on node 1 on the secondary hub. So on the secondary hub, make sure that your ACFS file system will be mounted on either node 1 or node 2. For example, your secondary hub is a 4-node rack or 6-node rack. In that case also, it should be mounted on any one of the node. Then for some reason you are restarting your secondary hub. I don't know when it comes up whether it will be up in node 2 or node 1. When I restart, again ACFS file system is mounted on node 2 also. So again I checked and I stopped the file system on the node 2. The reason behind, when you start the ACFS replication, you will be initiating one command in primary hub. ACFS util replication initialization primary, we are passing the node name. In our case, rack-s1. So when you are initiating the ACFS replication in primary hub using particular node, it always reflects on that node only. It will check whether that node ACFS is mounted or not. So when you restart your secondary rack, again the file system by automatically it is coming up. Then I checked, is there any way to disable the file system on the node 2? But I don't find any command in SRVCTL disabling the file system on a particular node. Maybe we can write in a small shell script or something to know when you restart for any planned downtime, unplanned downtime, maybe we can utilize that script. But in using SRVCTL, disabling in file system on particular node, there is no command. So two things we have to keep it in mind. If it is a cluster nodes in secondary hub, when you are using ACFS replication, see to that ACFS file system on mounted any one of the node. Number 2, when you restart for planned downtime or unplanned downtime, again the ACFS file system will comes up automatically on the both the nodes. Even in that case, you have to stop the file system and you see to that which command you have initiated from primary hub for the standby or secondary hub. You have to make sure that nodes ACFS file system should be up and running. And summary, we have seen Oracle Golden Gate architecture and what is hub, what are the advantages using hub architecture. Before going to hub architecture, what are the software stacks required and how to check the certification matrices for entire environment, and how we can leverage or how we can utilize primary hub when comes to cluster nodes, and how to check ACFS replication when in terms of certification matrix for the particular stack, and how to check ADVM volumes related to ACFS. So, and we have seen XAG bundled agents, how to configure, how to manage using AGCTL command line utility, and where and all we can use XAG. XAG is not only for Golden Gate, it will support many software stacks for high availability when comes to when comes to linking with the CRS stack. So I hope you got something from this session. So I can take no, whatever you have queries, feel free to ask me.
Awesome. Thanks, Ravi. We do have quite a few questions in. Let's see. This is from Ed. Can the Active Data Guard instance be the physical standby, or does it need to be logical standby?
In our case, it is physical standby. It is not logical standby. It is a physical standby. Maybe if it is a logical standby, you can go for integrated extract, because either primary database or logical standby database, we can use integrated extract, but not on remote physical standby database. That is the reason we are using classic extract. Yeah.
Okay. This one's from Srinivasa. In this hub model, how does different versions or patch levels of RDBMS versions and their support?
So it's a good question. I have shown you the multiple certification matrices when it comes to Oracle Golden Gate for Oracle or Oracle Golden Gate for big data. In that Excel sheet, based on your Golden Gate version, based on your OS version, and the right hand side, they have given all the databases versions supported for particular Oracle Golden Gate software stack.
Okay, how can you have hub server running latest version of 19C, RHEL 7.x or 8.x, and the other database servers running 12.2 dot whatever or lower versions, and should it be backward compatible?
So here we are using Oracle Linux 8 with UEK kernel. So either Red Hat Linux or Oracle Linux 8, all the softwares, like only Clusterware is supporting, but ACFS, ADVM, Oracle Golden Gate for big data, and no, some of the software stacks are not supporting based on kernel. So we are using 7.x for this hub architecture.
Okay, that was from Alexander. Also from Alexander, do we need to use ASM/ACFS combo, and is there another combination?
It's a good question. For the combination, if you want to use ACFS on top of ASM, we will be placing ACFS. So for you can use ASM lib also, but after ASM FD filter driver, if you want to install, you have to uninstall ASMlib. Otherwise, there will be a conflict between ASMlib and ASMFD. So Oracle strongly suggests use ASMFD when it comes to ACFS on top of ASM. Yep.
Awesome. And last question, also from Alexander. He's wondering if these concepts are explained in your book, Golden Gate and Microservices.
Of course, in my Golden Gate book, I have explained in terms of without microservices, with microservices. But the hub architecture, coming to this use case, I am going to update in version 2. But using microservices, without microservices, the complete configurations of XAG, using DBFS, using ACFS, we have completely shown in step by step.
All right, that's all the questions I have. Any final questions, go ahead and get them in. But otherwise, thank you so much, Ravi, for your time today and your expertise in Golden Gate. For those of you who are asking about getting a copy of the presentation, we'll get that from Ravi and send it out to you guys. And there's also going to be a recording of today's session. So if you're part of NYOUG, go check out nyoug.org, or Viscosity's team will also send you a link to watch as well.
Thank you, NYOG, and thank you, Viscosity NA, and thanks to all for your time.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.